Welcome you all. In this session, we will see how to operate thyristors in series and in parallel. So, coming to the series operation of thyristors. Usually, when do we go for a series operation of any power semiconductor devices? We have already seen in the case of power transistors that whenever we need whenever one particular transistor or one particular semiconductor device cannot provide the voltage whatever is required, then we go for a series operation of the semiconductor devices. The same way here, for high voltage applications, we connect two or more thyristors in series so that we get the desired voltage rating. So when we connect any power semiconductor devices, for in the case right now we have thyristors, we need to see that any number of thyristors which are connected in series should give us the same VI characteristics. Okay, that means to say it should have the same breakover voltage, and the on time and off time of any number of thyristors which are connected has to be same. Why? Because say for example, we connect a voltage source, we connect a supply across this n thyristors which are connected. Okay, for example, I am showing you here. We have connected a supply across the 3 thyristors. Here you have 3 thyristors in series. You forget about all the other components which are connected here. Assume that you have only T1, T2 and Tn. Instead of Tn, we will take it as T3 connected across the supply. So all this T1, T2 and T3, it should have the same VI characteristics. That means its on state current, off state current, on state voltage, off state voltage, everything has to be same. Why? Because in case say this voltage V is divided among T1, T2 and this Tn, I'll take it as T3. So when we want the voltage V to be shared among T1, T2 and T3, all should conduct at the same time. Say suppose now T1 is on, T2 is on, but T3 is off. What will happen in that case? So once T1 is on, the voltage across it is 0, right? Voltage across this is also 0. What is the voltage across T3? T3 is off. The entire supply voltage V will appear across T3, wherein this one particular thyristor may not be able to withstand this particular voltage. It will get damaged. So what we need to have is all the thyristors whichever are connected in series should turn on at the same time as well as turn off at the same time. They should not have any delay. So that synchronization has to be there among the thyristors which are connected in series. So sometimes what happens is, even if all the 3 thyristors are made by the same manufacturer, okay, same specifications, ratings, everything is same, there might be a chance that the VI characteristics is slightly different. So in order to have equal voltage among all the thyristors which are connected in series, we connect a resistor across each thyristor. So you observe here, you have a resistor R, you have resistor R here, you have resistor R here. What is the meaning of that? All the resistor values are same. That means the voltage across the first resistor or second resistor or third resistor is same. The same voltage will appear across each thyristor. So we want equal voltage sharing among the all thyristors which are connected. So we connect the resistor across each thyristor. Okay, that point is clear. Next, we need to protect the thyristors against the increase in the current and increase in the voltage. So for that purpose, what we do is we have the resistors and the capacitor, that is we need to have a snubber across the thyristor. So you can observe here you have a snubber snubber, that is C1 along with R1, which limits the change in the voltage. Okay, now let us see what should be the number of thyristors to be connected in series, and what is the voltage, maximum value of the voltage among the across the each thyristor. So for that, what we'll do is we will consider that there are n thyristors which are connected in the string. Fine. So we have n thyristors which are connected in the string, that is in series, and we will consider that the off-state current of thyristor 1 is ID1. Similarly, the off-state current of thyristor 2 is ID2, of thyristor N is IDN. Okay, and the voltage across the resistor, the first resistor is VD1, the second resistor is VD2. So for obtaining the expression, we will assume that ID2 will be equal to ID3 equal to IDN, any number of thyristors, and the magnitude of ID1 is less compared to ID2, ID3. So I'll write it next. So here you can see that the thyristor current, that is this particular IT is nothing but you have the current which is flowing through this one, that is the thyristor, as well as through the resistor. So we will rewrite this, and the change of this thyristor current is ID2 minus ID1. So we'll write it that way. So IT is equal to ID1 plus I1. Similarly, IT is equal to ID2 plus I2. So we are going to write it. So by looking into this circuit, we have IT is equal to ID1 plus I1, right? Similarly, we can write for the second thyristor, we can write the same current ID, because the total current is IT, right? It is ID2 plus I2. We'll consider two thyristors as of now. It is same. If you have third thyristor, it is IT is equal to ID3 plus I3. ID1 is the current through thyristor T1. I1 is the current through the corresponding resistor. So with the rate, the change in the off-state current, the change in the off-state current is delta ID. It is equal to ID2 minus ID1. So what assumption is made for this particular derivation? So assumption made for this particular derivation is ID1 is less than ID2, and this ID2 is equal to ID3 is equal to IDN. That means any number of thyristors which are connected in series. Now what we do is we will substitute for ID2 and ID1 from these two. So what we get? Delta ID is equal to, what is ID2? It is IT minus I2, right? Similarly, minus ID1. ID1 is IT minus I1. So it is IT minus I1, or what we get is IT minus I2 minus IT plus I1. So on simplification, we get it as I1 minus I2 is delta ID, or we can write I2 is equal to I1 minus delta ID. Now, what is the voltage across thyristor T1? Voltage across the thyristor T1 is VT1, okay, which is nothing but R into I1. So we will write that. So voltage across a thyristor T1 is equal to, is nothing but VD1 which is given by I1 into R. So if we assume that we have n number of thyristors and all the thyristors are connected across the, say for example, this is first thyristor. I will not draw the additional resistors. So we have n thyristors which are connected in series across a supply which is Vs. Then what is Vs equal to? If this voltage is Vd1, this voltage is Vd2, this voltage is Vdn, then what is Vs equal to? Vs will be equal to Vd1 plus Vd2 plus any number of thyristors which are connected plus Vdn, right? So this we have assumed that Id1 is less than Id2 and all Id2 is equal to Id3 is equal to Idn. So what we can write here, Vd1 is changed because Id1 is less than Id2. So Vd1 is I1 into R. So this I'll write it as it is, plus this one, all these voltage drops will be same because all the currents are same. So we'll write it as, so if total number of thyristors here are Ns, if we leave this one, then the remaining thyristor will be equal to Ns minus 1. So it is Ns minus 1 into Vd2. Okay. So Vd2 I write it as, this is Vd1 plus Ns minus 1 into Vd2 is nothing but I2 into R. Okay. So this is nothing but Vs. So now from this we will obtain the expression for Vd1. So what we have got there, Vs is equal to Vd1 plus Ns minus 1 into Vd2, right? It is Vd2. So I will obtain the expression for Vd1. So Vd1 I will retain it as it is plus Ns minus 1 into, what is Vd2? It is I2 into R. So that I2 into R, I can express it in terms of delta ID that I have already derived. It is Vd1 plus Ns minus 1 into, what is I2? It is I1 minus delta ID into R. So now I will simplify this further. So Vs is equal to Vd1 plus Ns minus 1 into I1 into R, that is the senders, minus Ns minus 1 into R into delta ID. This is what I get. Now I can simplify this further. How? This I1 into R is nothing but Vd1, right? So I'll write this as Vs is equal to Vd1 plus Ns minus 1 into Vd1 minus Ns minus 1 into R into delta ID, or this Vd1 and here minus Vd1 get cancelled. So you are remaining with Vs is equal to Ns into Vd1. I skipped one step. Ns into Vd1 minus Ns minus 1 into R into delta ID. This is what I get. Now I'll write what is Vd1. So Vs is equal to N into Vd1 minus Ns minus 1 into R into delta ID. So Vd1 is equal to Vs plus Ns minus 1 into R into change of the thyristor current divided by N. S. So sorry, this is Ns. This is Ns. So here what it tells us is the voltage across the first thyristor, it depends not only on the current which is flowing and the supply voltage, but it also depends on the number of thyristors which are connected in series. So this particular Vd1 will be maximum when this current, change in the current is maximum. So if we take ID1 0, so what is this ID1? So how can you express change in the current is ID2 minus ID1. If this ID1 is 0, then change in the current is nothing but equal to ID2. So in that case, we get a maximum voltage across the thyristor. Maximum voltage across the thyristor or SCR. So I will rewrite this as VDS, that is the steady state voltage. Okay, S is steady state. So steady state voltage will be maximum when it is Vs plus Ns minus 1 into R into ID2 divided by Ns. Okay, Vs plus 1 plus Ns minus 1 into R into ID2 by Ns. So during the turn off, we see for we have considered the off state current, and we have assumed that the current through the first thyristor is less compared to the other thyristors. The current in all the remaining thyristors are equal. So in order to obtain, in order to have equal voltage sharing among the thyristors which are connected in series, we connect a resistor across each thyristor. So during turn off, there will be a difference in the stored charge, which in turn will cause a unequal difference in the reverse voltage sharing. So if you observe here, this is during turn off of the thyristor. You can see the thyristor current becoming 0. It has not become 0 directly. It has a reverse voltage which appears across it. The similar concept which you have in the diode, reverse recovery. Okay, and you observe here, for here it is shown for two thyristors. This is for thyristor T1 and this is for thyristor T2. So both the thyristors, there is a difference in the stored charge. So in one thyristor it is Q1, the other thyristor is Q2. So what will happen? Your turn off time is completely changed. So when the thyristor gets turned off, the maximum voltage appears across it. So the thyristor which will have the least recovery charge or the least reverse recovery time, it will have a higher transient voltage appearing across it. So the junction capacitances which will control the transient voltage distribution will not be adequate, and hence you need to connect a capacitor C1 across each thyristor, and you have the R1 which limits the discharge current. So the same R and C what I told you, which will protect the thyristor against dV by dt, the same RC network or the snubber will see to that the reverse recovery charge is same across the each thyristor. So if we consider the voltage, that VD1 expression which we have obtained, if we instead of the current, if we take voltage, so what are we going to get? So we have obtained VD1 in terms of current, right? ID2. Instead of that, if we obtain it in terms of the charge, then how can we express it? So we know the voltage difference. Voltage difference can be written as R into ID. Okay, or this can be written in terms of the charge, that is Q2 minus Q1 divided by C1, or it is delta Q by C1. So whatever R into ID was we had obtained in that expression, what was that expression we had obtained? We had obtained VD1 is equal to Vs plus Ns minus 1 into R into delta ID divided by N. This is what we had obtained, right? So now in the place of R into delta ID, we substitute the charge. So we get Vd1 is equal to Vs plus Ns minus 1 into delta Q by C1, the whole thing by Ns, sorry, it is Ns, right? So the worst case, that is transient voltage sharing, will occur when Q1 is equal to 0. In that case, delta Q will be equal to Q2. So the transient voltage sharing is given by Vdt maximum is equal to Vs plus Ns minus 1. Delta Q becomes Q2, right? Q2 divided by C1, the whole thing divided by Ns. So usually the reliability of the string is defined by a parameter known as a derating factor, okay? The derating factor is equal to 1 minus string efficiency, okay? 1 minus string efficiency. So this string efficiency is given by, so derating factor, we write it as DRF, is equal to string efficiency is 1 Vs divided by Ns into Vds max, that is steady state voltage maximum value. So it is 1 minus Vs by Ns into Vds maximum. This is the value of steady state derating. If it is a transient state derating factor, how will we obtain? DRF is equal to 1 minus Vs divided by Ns into Vdt maximum. That's all. Okay, this is the general formula. Either it is Vds max or it is Vdt maximum. So whenever we connect thyristors in series, we need to see that their on state current, their off state current, their on, especially the on state and off state timings are same, and the voltage sharing among all the thyristors is equal. So in order to have equal voltage sharing among all the thyristors which are connected, we connect a resistor R across, which is same across each thyristor, and we take care of the maximum voltage across each thyristor. So next, when we connect thyristors in parallel, when one thyristor cannot carry the required current. So we connect thyristors in parallel in such case. So in that case, the load current will not be shared equally. One thyristor might carry a large current, the other thyristor might carry a lesser current. So in order to have equal current sharing among the number of thyristors which are connected in parallel, we connect a resistor in series with it. This resistance R1 and R2 will help in such a way that both the thyristors and T1 and T2 will carry the same amount of current under the steady state condition. For dynamic current sharing, in addition to this resistor, we need to have an inductor, so that any change in the current through one inductor will have a current change in the another inductor equally, so that we can achieve the current sharing among the any number of thyristors which are connected in parallel. So hope this concept is clear to you. Thank you.